Village Québécois d'Antan is Drummondville's only theme park. But theme park may be a stretch. Find out more in this review. I'm Callaway Coasters, and you're watching a honest review of Village Québécois d'Antan.
I'm standing at the edge now, it's about to go down. I'm gonna take it higher. It's time for me to light it so they can't deny it. Hey, bring that fire. Bring that fire. Bring that fire.
Before we begin, please make sure to subscribe to this channel and enable notifications so you'll be notified when the next video gets uploaded. Alright, let's get into this review. Village Québécois d'Antan was founded in 1977 by historian Claude Verrier. The goal of the park was to recreate a 19th century and early 20th century suburban Quebec village to showcase the cultures and traditions from the era. To do so, they relocated several old buildings from that time period and brought them to this spot in Drummondville where they would be protected by the city's heritage. As well, multiple objects and furniture dating from between 1810 and 1910 was donated to be used in this park. So not only are the buildings authentic, but the objects inside as well. However, the project would not come without issues. In 1979, funding was lacking, and the project was nearing cancellation. Fortunately, the government of Quebec granted a subsidy of $35,000 to the welfare program. This financial support helped village president Gérard Ruel to ensure that the construction of the village would continue, and Village Québécois d'Antan would open to the public on July 15, 1980. I visited Village Québécois d'Antan 3 times, with my most recent visit being on July 1st, 2026. And I made a whole vlog on this channel, which you can go watch by clicking on the link in the description. If you want to visit this park, general admission for people between 3 and 17 years old is $20.99 Canadian. If you're between 18 and 64 years old, general admission will cost you $39.99 Canadian. Check out the park's website for more information because prices vary depending on the season and depending on age. The park has a few seasonal overlays, and depending on the time you visit, your experience will be a little different. Entrée dans l'Histoire, sponsored by Desjardins, is the park's normal operations. But if you visit the park during the evening, however, Village Parallèle, sponsored by Motion Factory, takes you in a storyline where the time machine has malfunctioned and weird things happen. This overlay comes with projection mapping and blue lighting, and in my opinion is certified theme park experience. If you visit the park during the Halloween season, Village Hanté is the park's most popular season, coupled with jump scares and well, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all that is in Village Hanté. And during the Christmas season, there's Village Illuminé d'Antan, which is just Entrée dans l'Histoire, but it's Christmas. The park experience starts at the entrance in this rather modern looking building. After checking in, you'll exit outside and follow a path. This path leads to a tunnel that goes directly under Rue Montplaisir, and that's because the park is built on the other side of the road. So you need to take this tunnel to go into the park. This tunnel features exposed pipes, music, lighting effects, and fog effects. That's supposed to be your time machine, or time tunnel if you will, that serves as a transition from the entrance to the park itself. Inside the village, you'll find a bunch of buildings. These include a church, a presbytery, an apothecary, a sawmill, a schoolhouse, a bakery, and many more. And these buildings don't feel out of place. Everywhere you look, there's detail. The ground is sand and gravel, and the road signs are in this 19th century style. It makes the village feel more accurate and more immersive. You also have different kinds of structures as well, like 2 playgrounds and a covered bridge. Inside each building, you'll find some live actors that will tell you all about what the building is for and what they do inside. This makes the village not only feel more immersive, but also educational, because it makes you learn what life was like back then. And this leads me to what makes this park different from other theme parks. Village Québécois d'Antan, which I'll refer to as VQA, relies heavily on live actors. There are no animatronics, because they want to keep the village accurate to that time period. So they hire a bunch of people to play a role and tell the guests what their job is. Unlike most theme parks, VQA does not have any rides, but they do have 2 attractions that are the closest things they have to rides. The first one is a key train ride called Balade en Train. It takes you around the splash pad La Bassine. Unfortunately, I couldn't ride it because I was too tall. The other attraction is a horse-drawn carriage ride around the park. But during the day I made my vlog, they replaced the horses with a tractor because it was too hot. Unfortunately, I couldn't ride this either because I forgot to bring my money to buy the tickets to take a ride on it. And this leads me to the reason why you clicked on this video in the first place. I'm sure you're all thinking right now, if this park is so great, why don't they at least add 1 ride? And not something very expensive. They could add a SPF spinner. These things are really cheap and they're everywhere. And to that I answer, no, that's impossible. That will never happen. And that's not because they don't have space. They do have space. They have this entire plot of land home to an abandoned amphitheater. But even then, they won't add any amusement rides here. Not an amusement section. Heck, they won't add any rides, no matter where it is in the park. And as a coaster enthusiast, I always thought there was at least a 1% chance of that happening. I always thought that they could have added a Ferris wheel, a Cyclone roller coaster, and even save Galopin, the abandoned carousel at La Ronde. But unfortunately, that's never going to happen. And this information is not coming from me. It's coming from an old high school friend named Anais, and she's a pretty reliable source. She worked at the park as live actor, and she knows how things work over there. I always told her about possible rides that could be added at different Quebec theme parks, and she was always like, maybe. But then, when I told her about VQA adding rides, she was like, no, that's impossible. They will never do that. And she explained to me a lot of reasons. I want to share 3 of them with you. The first one is budget. You need to consider that this is not a Six Flags park. It's a completely different theme park ideology. It's a non-profit organization that is running Village Québécois d'antan. And non-profit is a communism of theme parks. I know that Ocean Park in Hong Kong is run by a non-profit organization and that they do have rides, but Ocean Park was a theme park to begin with, and VQA wasn't. It was intended to be a recreated village, and with their money not being invested in investment, but rather in keeping the building's heritage, keeping the building nice, like, they don't have the money to buy the cheapest of rides. The next reason is very obvious. This is a 19th century and early 20th century suburban Quebec village. Have you ever seen a roller coaster next to a farm? No. And if you did, it was probably in the 21st century. Also, one place where you don't put any amusement rides or any amusement park is the suburbs. And the countryside as well. And VQA is themed to the countryside. Now it happens sometimes where theme parks will put rides where they don't belong. Example, Canada's Wonderland putting Drop Tower and Riptide in Medieval Fair when they don't look medieval at all. But it works at Canada's Wonderland because it's a theme park. But VQA is more technically an outdoor museum. So rides don't fit at Village Québécois d'antan. No roller coaster, no flat rides. And it doesn't matter if roller coasters existed as early as 1885. That still doesn't change the fact that VQA will not add any rides. And to add to the previous reason why they will never add rides, VQA is struggling financially. And there's no solution to that. The only solution is to do nothing, because their seasonal overlays are drawing the most of their attendance. People come to Village for the holidays. And adding rides would still not be possible even if the park itself closed, because those buildings are protected by the heritage of the city, meaning that they can't be torn down. The final reason why Village Québécois d'antan will never add rides is because, once again, this is an outdoor museum. People come to VQA purely for the history. Adding rides, even just a dedicated amusement zone, would distract the park from its main goal, which is education and preserving heritage. Village Québécois d'antan is the perfect definition of Rideless one day, rideless forever. But despite this, Village Québécois d'Antan is still absolutely worth visiting. It's one of these hidden gems that nobody talks about, and when someone talks about it, it's very underrated. Village Québécois d'Antan has something special going for it, something that you won't find at any other theme park. It is what it is. The magic of VQA is the people that run it. Everyone put a lot of love and effort into this park. And it's not about theming, it's about accuracy. Because all the buildings are authentic. But authenticity can sometimes translate into theming. And with that, the more accurate definition of Village Québécois d'Antan is an outdoor museum disguised as a theme park. But for me, it feels like a theme park. And it should for you too. 'Cause not a lot of people think about it. Drummondville may be long overdue for a traditional theme park with rides, but until they have the budget, we need to show some love to Village Québécois d'Antan. It may not have rides, but it's the closest thing we have in town to a theme park. It may not have rides, but it has the spirit of what a theme park should be. More about theming and less about rides. And that's my honest review of Village Québécois d'Antan. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, please make sure to subscribe to this channel and enable notifications, because only 7 of you are subscribed right now. A like on this video would also be very appreciated, as it helps me against the YouTube algorithm. And until next time, I'm Callaway Coasters, feel the grip of Vortex, and I'll see you all in the next one.